back. Thank you so much for staying with us. You're watching NewsMaker Live right here on DBS television. I'm told by my producer we already have a call online. We'll put the telephone number on the screen. So let's go ahead and take that call. Good evening, you're on the air.
Good night to you, Tim. Good night to you, Sarah.
Good night to you, caller.
Sarah.
Yes?
You know that the United Workers' Party will not win the general election, right? Because the reason you said to us, and those were your words, the United Workers' Party will never win the general election if Alan Chastney stays a political leader. And you said that, and you continue by saying, these are not Sarah saying, these are the feelings on the ground. What's your say?
Thank you so much for calling.
Well, in politics, variables change. Of course, I said that when I contested Alan Chastney. And variables change. I mean, I said that a few months ago. And every day things are changing. And certainly, there are things that the United Workers' Party can do, and we are doing, to make sure that we have a very good chance of winning. So that's my answer to the caller. I mean, this was said a few months ago. Variables change in elections, and adjustments can be made on the ground so that the party's strong, and that is being done.
We have a call. Good evening.
Good evening, Sarah.
Hi, good evening to you, caller.
Good evening, caller.
I would like to say I am so proud of you, Sarah, for picking up the gauntlet where it was dropped. When it was on the ground, they asked you to pick it up, and you did not disappoint your country, because that's what you think of first, country, and so you've picked up the gauntlet. I need to say that the United Workers' Party, if you look at what they're doing, another woman, look at the slate of women in the United Workers' Party. Look at the candidates that are there now in the United Workers' Party. They said it was a party that didn't want women. They said it was a party that Alan Chastney was afraid of women and professional women. I personally have tested and tried Alan Chastney as a professional woman to see whether or not he would not respect or he would not want to listen. This is so false about this man. And if anybody knew me, I'm a woman of integrity, and I speak and I tolerate no foolishness from anybody. But this man is not what people say. This man is a man who stands up. In fact, the entire cabinet standing up. And I call them the cabinet because I believe that they will form the next government. The United Workers' Party, you have to look at the slate of men and women. They are men and women who respect family, who have high morals, who have integrity. It's a slate of people who have the country at heart. They have brought the unity back in the United Workers' Party. If Sir John was alive, he would have been proud to have had a group of people like that, because what was supposed to be out is out. Now what is there, it's there. It has brought back the confidence of all the United Workers supporters who did not vote last time. They are lifting up now, and they're going to stand up for themselves. This party is committed to young people. Women are looking up now, and they're seeing what is happening. Look at the caliber of women that are there. And I can tell you, Tim, there are more women that are standing in this United Workers' Party with that political leader. The man is not what people have said. Everybody has their faults, and everybody has their weaknesses. None of us, not one of us can claim that we are any saints. But this man respects women and all the gentlemen in there. And these men stand up together in unity. And this is what St. Lucia needed. This is what St. Lucia's had. The United Workers' Party is right and ready, and it's about to give St. Lucia what they've always wanted: a United Workers' Party, a new UWP, a united UWP, a respectful UWP, a UWP that has men and women of integrity, more high moral fabric, spiritual people, with a chairman that is a general, a strong spiritual general man. The United Workers' Party is something that has never been there before. And if St. Lucia listens up, they would understand to get themselves out of the mire of all the lack of employment, the rise in crime, all blaming on the youth when it's we, the older people, that's not putting, the government is not putting something there to make them get out of that, but keep blaming them. We are coming because we care about the country. And if you look at this party and look at the people that are supporting this United Workers' Party executive, it is people who care about country and who want to make a difference. And therefore, that's why they cannot get us. We are all stand it with Alan Chastney.
Thank you so
very
much for calling. Okay, it's time to take another call once again. This is NewsMaker Live right here on DBS Television, and my guest, Mrs. Sarah Flood Bobra. Good evening. Go ahead with your contribution, caller.
Yeah, good night, James.
Hi, good evening to you.
And good night to...
Good night. Good night, caller.
Mrs. Flood, I want to applaud you for standing up and, offering yourself as a candidate, and I wish you all the best in the elections.
Thank you very much.
Earlier on, I heard Tim speaking to you with regards to the arrest that was made. And I think some comment was made with regards to the persons being, there have been human trafficking. I want to ask whether one can see, based on the definition of human trafficking, whether one can say that it is actually human trafficking taking place. Because here we have persons being charged for working
without a work permit.
Without work permit. And if you're working, it means that you working to earn income. And so I can see that amounting to human trafficking.
Well, sometimes it depends on based on the conditions of work. Sometimes the passports of those people are taken from them. Sometimes they're working under very stressful conditions, and those things I think constitute human trafficking.
Yes, but when I was speaking on human trafficking, I was making a general point.
And we never created a link. Yeah.
Right. I wasn't speaking specifically about this situation. I was making a general point. But I think the caller still needs to wants to.
I take your point, Mrs. Flood, and I want to say that it is not just because the persons may have their passport that it would translate to human trafficking. I think human trafficking would entail some kind of force or some coercion and stuff like that. But we need to be mindful of those things, and sometimes when we think that we know certain things, it is wise for us to go back and take another read, to ensure that what we're thinking is actually what is stated in the books. So I want to just make that point. I understand that the persons were charged, like I said, with working without permit. Now, when you really look at this, I mean, I'm certain that, and I'm hoping that the police will crack down not on just those persons within that that group, but you have persons elsewhere in the country, I'm sure, who are working without permits. You hear about them in restaurants, in hotels, and other places. And I'm hoping that it is not just this category of workers that will be looked at.
Okay, thanks a lot, sir.
Yes, I want to thank the caller for his comments. I just want to reiterate that I wasn't speaking about that particular situation. But normally in situations like these, this is what obtains. And I refer to my experience as a Minister of Home Affairs, where I firsthand saw the kinds of human rights abuses that attend that kind of activity. And we have persons trafficked into St. Lucia, and we have St. Lucians, even children being trafficked out of St. Lucia. So just to reiterate, this is a very serious crime that our authorities need to be very adamant about prosecuting, because we cannot tolerate a situation where human beings are exploited in such a way where it amounts to slavery. I mean, some of these stories that you hear of people being locked in homes and being beaten and not being able to work to free themselves to get out of a situation they did not even know they were getting into in the first place. And I'm talking about cases that I saw during my tenure is not a fanciful, it's not just an anecdote. This is a serious issue that authorities need to clamp down on. And of course, the caller is right. The whole question of working without work permits across the board, enforcing our law, enforcing small infractions and big infractions. That's how we will deal with crime. If we ensure that we prosecute, we deal with the small criminal acts, the big ones are less likely to be committed. So we have to have a serious approach to it.
Good evening. This is NewsMaker Live. Go ahead with your contribution, caller. Okay, well, there's that caller. But continue to call us once again. You're watching the broadcast with my guest. Go ahead, please. Hello. Hello, good evening.
Hi.
Good evening to you, sir.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
You'll have to speak up, please.
Hi, good evening, Tim. You heard me clearly now?
Yes. Go ahead, please.
I want to say good evening to Ms. Barbara.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
I listened to an interview with you in the past where you said that at a cabinet meeting, certain members of your government, that during the time that you were a member of the Labour Party, asked you not to take care of the disabled because the disabled does not vote. You remember that?
I said that I was repeatedly admonished about that. I didn't necessarily say that it was at a cabinet meeting, but I said that I was repeatedly
Members of your party?
Yes, I said I was repeatedly reminded about that. Yes.
Okay, can you tell St. Lucians who reminded you not to take care of the disabled?
Well, the Prime Minister at the time reminded me and cautioned me that it was not the disabled, though, it was the mentally ill, that the mentally ill do not vote, and he needs to remind me that all of this effort, these people do not vote.
Okay, so the Prime Minister asked you not to take care of the mentally disabled.
He reminded me that these people do not vote and cautioned me probably not to take so much time.
But let me say that the Prime Minister is not on this broadcast. Hold on, please, caller, hold on. Let me say the Prime Minister is not on this broadcast to either substantiate, corroborate, or to deny this particular statement. So we'll leave it as that. Go ahead, please.
Tim, that's very clear. You are not to be blaming anything.
No, caller, don't play a turn with me. I've addressed the issue, so just move on, please.
Okay, but Ms. Borbe says the Prime Minister, so the Prime Minister will defend himself.
Caller.
Okay, now
I'm begging you to just move on.
Let me ask Ms. Borbe. Ms. Borbe is an attorney, right? Can the charges that were laid against the ladies, right, today, right? They said that they were working without work permit. Can anybody prove to the court that these people have been paid?
I don't want to speak on this particular case.
No, but you have been speaking about it.
No, I have no. I've been making general comments about the situation.
You said it's human trafficking. You remember?
No.
Caller, please. I mean, I understand what she's saying. She said she made general comments and nothing specifically to this particular case. Okay,
because I don't know anything about the facts of this case.
They are charged for working without work permit.
Right.
Can anybody prove to the courts in St. Lucia that these people have been getting a salary slip every week?
But you're not being reasonable because we are not
question.
Caller, please. I do not get involved in your business and tell you how to run your business.
But you can do that.
This is my business, and I want you, when I'm interjecting, please just listen. What I'm saying to you, and you did pose a question to me as well as the host, what I'm saying to you is that if we're not privy to all the facts surrounding that particular issue, don't expect me as the host of the program to allow you to continue along those lines as to give you some kind of a response based on the evidence, because we don't have the evidence.
Yes. If I may just say, though, I mean, I didn't revise the law with that particular matter before I came, but in many jurisdictions, and I suspect it is the same for St. Lucia, that with regard to employment in a country, whether or not you paid or not, you're not allowed to engage in employment. Because people can easily say that I was not being paid, I was doing it voluntarily. So in most jurisdictions, you're not allowed to take up employment, paid or unpaid. And I I am not speaking for this particular case, but that is a matter that will have to be looked into.
Okay, I'm not
So
defending
it's not-
human trafficking. I'm totally opposed to human trafficking, right? What I'm asking is very clear, right? How can, Ms. Broben, you know you cannot work in this country. It's illegal to work in this country without making a NIC contributions, right?
Go ahead, call. I'm listening
I'm
to
asking
you.
you.
I'm listening to you. I mean,
Is it not an offense to work in this country without making NIC contributions?
well, I mean, there's no.
Yes or no?
No, listen to me. There are some categories of workers who do not have to make NIC contribution.
For example.
As a minister of government, I was not required to do it. As a minister of government, I
you
was
accept
not.
it?
No. As a minister of government, I was never required to make NIC contributions. It's not every category of worker in St. Lucia that is bound to make these contributions. Now, you are referring to a particular case here that you're inviting me to comment on. I will not comment on the particular case.
Why?
Except
But
no,
you have been making comments about it.
I am making comments about the issue of trafficking, the issue of prosecuting persons when they commit a crime. I'm making general comments, not about the particular case and whether or not these people were actually paid. I do not have the facts of the case, and I can't speak about it.
They are charged without working in this country without a work permit. Isn't that true?
Caller, I must caution you because I have great difficulty when you call.
Tim, can I ask my question?
Caller, please hold on. I've been trying to be very patient with you. The point is that we are not privy. I'm not privy to the circumstances which led a magistrate to charge those people for
The
work.
magistrate didn't charge them.
Please.
The officers charged them.
Oh, the magistrate, sorry, the officers for charging those people for working here without a work permit. Now, it must go before a magistrate to determine their guilt or their innocence. It's on that basis. So we cannot already determine their guilt or their innocence before the matter has been heard. That is exactly what we are trying to say to you, sir.
Listen, Tim, that's not what I'm saying. I'm simply asking Ms. Bourbe. Ms. Bourbe is an attorney.
What is the question?
My question to Ms. Bourbe, right, is it's very simple.
You think it's simple?
Yeah, very simple.
But it's
Can
convoluted, sir.
these people at the nightclub where they were found, right, can be charged with working without work permit and can be proven. That's what I'm asking now.
I am not talking. I do not want to speak about this
But you have
particular
been talking
case.
about it from
Okay.
yesterday.
No,
Caller,
I have been making
thank you so
general
much.
comments.
That's it. Thank you so much.
Sorry.
We continue to take your calls. Once again, this is NewsMakerLive right here on DBS Television. Let's see if we have another caller line. Good evening. Go ahead with your contribution, caller.
Good evening, team. Good
Hi.
evening to Mrs. Bober.
Good evening,
evening.
to you.
I am a young person from Blashaderi, and Mrs. Bobre, I've been following you since you're back. And I must say, Mr. Gege and Mr. Rain, your dad would be proud of you. I'm
Thank
proud
you.
of you as well as a young individual. Keep up that good work, because I think you mean the young people and the St. Lucian citizens well. God bless you.
Thank you very much, and good night, Blanchard Deriso.
Another call. Once again, this is NewsMakerLive on DBS Television. My guest is Mrs. Sarah Flood Bober. Good evening. Go ahead, please, with your contribution. Hello. Hi. Good evening to you, caller.
Timmy, you have a problem with my phone or what?
No, go ahead. I think might be a problem with the feedback.
I thought this back and forth was very interesting. In that, do you know that the police have actually charged, for a fact, these people with working without a work permit?
Well, we got the information from the Press Relations Department of the Royal St. Lucia
That they
Police
charged
Force.
them working without, did they say what line of work they were doing?
No.
Because if what we are suspecting is the line of work they were doing, I would think that's illegal anyway. So why would they be charging them with not having a work permit rather than charging them with the initial illegality? And we don't give out work permits. I'm assuming that they charge them for something set down, prostitution or whatever. I'm assuming something related. And if they are being charged, I doubt very much they'll be charging them for not having a work permit to practice prostitution. Yeah?
Well, I don't know if prostitution comes into the picture. Okay.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
No. I'm just saying that we need to find out, we need to verify, we need to ask questions of the police, and we don't know why those people were charged specifically with regard to what area of employment that they were involved in. We don't know that.
But what I'm getting at is that from everything I have been watching this too, and I have been listening to the news, the general impression created is that those young women were involved in an activity. I don't want to get into the prostitution thing. I hate that word. Sex worker stuff. That's why you were talking human trafficking, and that's why you were talking prostitution. That came up there because that is in the air. And if that is in the air, I don't get the question about work permit and all that other stuff, because that becomes redundant in that they were engaged in an activity that they would never get a work permit for anyway. So why not charge them with the activity?
Yeah, I think that's
the
a good
illicit,
point.
supposed illicit activity. So I don't get any of that.
You have a point there, Rick. You have a point, Rick. Yes, Rick. Good night.
A very famous economist said, when the facts change, I change my mind. You might be interested in that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for calling. I'm sure that the police will have to verify this at some point in time with regard to why they were charged for working here without a work permit. Good evening. This is NewsMaker Live. Go ahead with your contribution, caller.
Yes, for the show, yes.
Hello, good evening. Go ahead, please.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Tim, and good evening to your guest.
Good evening to you, caller.
As I recall, and the whole solution knows, that Mrs. Bobray was part of the government of 2006, between 2006 and 2011.
No, I wasn't.
Part of the hold on, please. Part of the government in what way?
Well, as a diplomat.
Okay.
So they had access to her. She had access to them as well. She could have advised the government as a diplomat.
So the same way you're part of this government. No, the same way you're part of this government working in Martinique, right?
If you want to say so.
No. Because you're working at our office over in Martinique.
Right.
So you're part of this government.
Pukwapa.
Beban?
I said Pukwapa.
Okay.
Why not?
Right.
My question to Mrs. Bobray, the fact that her government at the time inherited an unemployment rate of about 13% to 14%. When they handed over the reins after losing the election in 2011, this government inherited an unemployment rate of 24%, meaning that your government did nothing to further reduce the employment rate. In fact, it skyrocketed up, right? What are you going to do now that is so different that you did not do between 2006 and 2011 to change things around? You know, and you have a situation where the government has made small gains in reducing unemployment rate, I think by 3 to 4%, right? In a very, I would say, hostile environment that we know that is globally challenged. So it's not an issue that we are facing here in St. Lucia. And you mentioned Martinique. Martinique, a country that is a department of France, and they're going through a number of issues. Recently, there was an election that changed the whole political dispensation in Martinique because of the economic situation that France is going through. Right? They reduced 2 assemblies that govern the country to 1 assembly right now. You know what I'm saying? All of that for economical reasons. So these are countries that are, as I said, that are supposedly rich, right? And are going through their problems. St. Lucia has, and this government has managed our economy in a very prudent manner, in the sense that you have every municipality in St. Lucia has seen gainful development that is going on, about the many amenities are concerned, about development that for instance, the spending of the Taiwanese funds, all been done in a very prudent manner, where every district, and I did mention the last time when you was on the show, the fact that people that are usually neglected by your party, that have been voted Labour of the United Workers' Party for over, Miku North, that is, right, for a century, right, have been neglected, have seen a brand new school built by the Labour Party, a number of road projects, a health center, a police station, a fire station, and a number of other. Well, you have a new IT project as well, where persons in Mico right now could go and learn to computer skills and so on, all bid under the United Workers, under the Central Labour Party government. Yeah? So what more do you want, Mrs. Bobray? This government has been handling this economy properly and has been in the past where under the United Workers Party government where you have constituencies that were neglected because they were run or managed by, or represented rather, by the Labour Party government. This did not happen under the Central Labour Party government. Every constituency was taken into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling, sir.
I just want to go quickly on the jobs issue before we get the next call. The fact is unemployment has risen with every successive year under the Central Labour Party government. That's a fact. The fact is we have an unprecedented high level of unemployment, particularly among the youth. The fact is the Central Labour Party campaigned on a promise of jobs, jobs, jobs. It has not delivered on this promise. And so, regardless of what the caller thinks about how the government has handled the job situation, it is a dismal failure. And we can do better. We ought to do better. Our young people, now people are disappointed, and we need to do something about it. The Central Labour Party government has not delivered on its promise of jobs, and unemployment is at an all-time high and has increased every year under this government, and it needs to be addressed.
Final comment from you?
Well, I want to thank you, Tim, and I want to thank the caller for their comments. I just want to say again a pleasant good evening to the people of Castries Central, to say what a pleasure it is for me to once again offer myself to serve this constituency. It will be better this time around. I'm offering you the best of me, and I would encourage you to give me the opportunity again. Let us continue the journey that we started, and let us really work together to improve your life, to improve St. Lucia. It really would be an honor and a privilege for me to serve you again as a Member of Parliament.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Sarah Bobra, for being my guest on this evening's NewsMaker Live. If it's Wednesday, it's NewsMaker Live. Stand by now for the clip that peaked.
That here was Alan Chastney at an executive meeting of the St. Lucia Labour Party, Mary Polius. What is happening tonight? Maybe Guy Joseph's voodoo is working on me. I don't know. But we are talking about the United Workers' Party. Don't worry. I am saved. That voodoo cannot touch me. You know I'm a child of God. I have ring fences around me. Amen. Amen.
Once again, this broadcast. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Timothy Polio. See you next time.